Starting Bear News today with the weather outside. You may have saw some snow early this morning and changed into some sleet, and then some rain and back to snow. I'll let you know what's happening a little later. Kayla, what else do we have in store for you?
Well, coming up next on Bear News, UNC politics are in full swing as we head into Senate elections. If you missed the spring concert, we'll give you a recap, including some backstage access.
It's officially spring, and that means spring sports are in full swing. Later on, we'll see how this baseball team is doing. We've got all that and more on this episode of Bear News. Don't go anywhere.
It's that time of year again for UNC. It's Student Senate election season. On Tuesday, 6 candidates debated and discussed topics related to the positions they're seeking. Only 5 audience members came, but they got to ask the candidates questions. Many of the candidates stressed the importance of creating awareness of Student Senate to the student body and to other clubs and organizations on campus. Joseph Mondragon gave some ideas about how he plans to make the connections.
I think marketing is the big thing, getting awareness to incoming freshmen and transfer students, being present at orientation events, move-in day, that first weekend, really, just in guerrilla marketing.
Another hot debate for the future will be the campus commons because it has already generated a lot of controversy. The elections are April 7th, 8th, and 9th, all day in the UC. All the candidates are urged to vote. UNC welcomes back its alumni to present awards honoring their accomplishments. Mariah Rail tells us more about a special ceremony for some special people.
Alumni gather at the UC Ballroom to celebrate the accomplishments of 5 outstanding alumni. The award categories are Spirit Award, Distinguished Service Award, Distinguished Alumni Service Award, Distinguished Alumnus of the Year Award, and Distinguished Honorary Alumni of the Year Award. The event starts off with speeches by UNC President Kate Norton and the President of the Alumni Association Board of Directors, Peter Martin, who also introduced and presented the awards. A tribute video is given for each honoree, where the person who nominated them explains why they deserve this award and shows their accomplishments. Assistant Vice President for Alumni Relations, Lindsay Crum, tells us how these alumni's commitments have helped UNC.
We are so proud to honor the alumni this evening. We know that their commitment, personally and professionally, makes this university stronger, so it's truly a privilege to see the example that they set and know that alumni around the world can look to them as examples of being an outstanding graduate.
This just goes to show you everything you do here at UNC, no matter how small, can have a huge impact later on. Mariah Rail, Bear News.
This is the Alumni Association's 50th anniversary this year, but the Honored Alumni Awards have been around since 1947. With registration coming up, the Student Health Center wants incoming students to know about required immunization records. If this is your first semester at UNC, it's important to turn your records in before registration. Advisors should warn incoming students about the requirement because changes in immunization laws don't allow SHC staff to lift a registration hold. If you have any questions about the law or record requirements, you can contact Immunization Coordinator Deborah Miller at 970-351-1919. After a beautiful start into spring, Old Man Winter is back with cold and snow. I was just thinking those days were behind us, but Colorado weather never fails to keep spring interesting and hard to predict. Thankfully, we have our Bear News meteorologist, Colton Grasmick, who keeps an eye to the sky and tells us when to expect nicer weather to return. Colton?
Well, Michelle, the rain and snow shouldn't stick around for too long, but you can't tell by the look outside. We have all that mixed precipitation falling, but I'll let you know when that should end in a few minutes. First, let's look at our current conditions. We'll see it's just barely above freezing right now at 36 at the surface. Winds, it's getting a little breezy out there, 15 miles per hour from the north. Tonight, it should stay pretty windy, but snow should die down. This evening, our nighttime low will be about 26 degrees. I'll have your full forecast and your 5-day when I come back.
Many students don't know it, but UNC's ASAP program offers confidential services to those in the community dealing with interpersonal violence issues. ASAP hosted an event at the UC, and Bear News reporter Karel Comer found out what it was all about.
Here at the University Center, the Assault Survivors Advocacy Program hosted its very first 2-day Breaking Silence exhibit. Those who attended were given a set of headphones and an audio player, and they were invited to listen to stories of interpersonal violence as they walk through settings that bring various aspects of those traumatic experiences to life. After discovering that UNC was one of the few universities in the state that had never hosted a Breaking Silence exhibit, ASAP thought it was a great opportunity to raise awareness of issues surrounding interpersonal violence and to ensure victims, survivors, and those affected by such crimes that they're not alone, and there are people who care and want to help. What exactly one can expect in the Breaking Silence exhibit is best told by the founder herself, Miss Allison Watts.
I would say that it's an interactive, self-guided tour of stories of survivors of interpersonal violence, and that we recreate the settings in order to bring to life these stories in a very intimate and personal way.
With such advanced technology available, I couldn't help but wonder why Breaking Silence chose to use audio recordings to tell the stories instead of a more visual element, like videos or pictures.
When I was in 8th grade, I went to the Holocaust Museum, and I remember walking through, and I didn't understand. I've never been persecuted against, I've never experienced genocide, and listening to that one person walk me through their experience, I understood it and felt empathy for it that I didn't even know was possible. And so I just thought, why not do that with sexual assault, domestic violence?
In the span of roughly 10 minutes, the exhibit manages to capture and convey the cycle, aftermath, and impact of interpersonal violence. With such a wealth of lessons to be learned from this powerful demonstration, it's impossible to know what exactly ASAP and Breaking Silence want people to take away from their experience.
And I hope that they see that the stigmas and the stereotypes and the barriers that we've put up around these crimes are exactly that, and then we have to break through those, and we have to continue to move forward and say, stop somebody that's going to sexually assault somebody, or, you know, when you're drinking and you're doing things, just being aware of limits, and that consent means actively saying yes.
Beyond what the exhibit offers to those who participate, the organization offers survivors a chance to break the silence by sharing their story with those who are willing to listen.
It's a very unique experience for survivors. There's not a lot of opportunity to share your story exactly how you want to, and then recreate a setting to follow that.
Reporting from the University Center, I'm Karel Comer, Bear News.
If you'd like to find out more about ASAP and the services they offer, you can visit their office in Cassidy Hall. We make a big deal out of academics here, and we prove it by devoting an entire week to celebrating our academic achievements. Many of UNC's colleges, schools, and programs will put on their own banquets, convocations, and other means of celebrating next week. For example, there's an honors ice cream social on Wednesday in the lower UC level, and the student athletes are acknowledged on Thursday in the Panorama Room. The College of Humanities and Social Sciences holds its annual honors convocation next Sunday in the Grand Ballroom. Research Day finally gets here on Thursday, and nearly 300 students present their research projects from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. throughout the second floor of the UC. Those are just a few of the events happening during the week. To get the full list, go to the UNC website and search for the Academic Excellence Week 2015. Coming up next after the break, India may be miles away, but UNC brought a colorful Indian holiday to campus. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Kids will spend 8 minutes decorating their little brother.
Brushing for 2 minutes now could save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
UNC Bears sure know how to have fun. They proved it at the spring concert during performances by Nakia Minot, Air Dubai, and Sage the Gemini. Reporter Hannah Brose got to talk to a couple of the performers and found out a little more about them.
Nakia Minot kicked off the concert and got the crowd clapping and moving to the soulful covers she performed. Air Dubai was the perfect addition to the show because they wanted the crowd to be carefree and to dance.
We've never really had a purpose more than that.
And last but not least.
Hi, my name is Sage Gemini, S-A-G-E-T-H-E-G-E-M-I-N-I.
Sage the Gemini took the stage and the audience loved him, especially the females of the crowd. He knows that college students tend to have a good time at his shows.
In college, everybody's dancing because they don't give a care. Not everybody wants to be the cool person of the crowd.
He started performing when he was just 8 years old.
I didn't decide to do music. Music decided to do me. Pause that. No, really, I kind of was like born into it.
Ultimately, he hopes his music will influence positive change.
See the bigger picture. You don't have to kill everybody. You don't have to sell drugs.
Reporting from the University of Northern Colorado, I'm Hannah Brost, Bear News.
About 1,200 students attended the concert, and the Moxie hosted the after party for the event. Graffiti can be an outlet for artistic expression, but what makes street art even better? Getting free Chipotle for contributing to the student-sanctioned tunnel painting. Students did just that during the Keep Your Coins We Want Change How-To Street Art event last Thursday. The University Program Council hosted this event, allowing students to paint the tunnel running under 11th Avenue just outside of the University Center. Artists chose a pre-drawn design, but then students could add unique touches to individual arrows they painted. The artist responsible for the design came up with the tunnel's new slogan written on the walls of both entrances. The arrows that now decorate the tunnel represent unique beliefs and community. UNC Student Radio kept music playing throughout the duration of the event on the Bishop Layer Field. The Holi celebration is an ancient Hindu religious festival of colors in spring. It celebrates happiness and good triumphing over evil. As Bear News reporter Weston Mossberg tells us, UNC celebrated Holi colorfully and in its own way.
Students gathered outside in the warm weather in preparation for the event to begin. The anticipation built as participants saw the tables of colored chalk being scooped out into separate Dixie cups. Once released, it was a stampede to try and get your own chalk from the crowded tables. Everyone was then drenched with water to make the chalk stick. After that, it was a free-for-all with chalk flying through the air in all directions. Friends covered friends head to toe in the colored powder. The refill table was always full of multicolored arms reaching in for another scoop. Each color had its own representation, whether it was peace or happiness. Everyone was having fun. While the chalk throwing might have wound down, the dancing and finger painting kept going.
From the Turner Green, Weston Mossberg, Bear News.
That looks like a lot of fun, although I'm not sure how I would look with purple and pink hair. If free pizza isn't something that interests you, I don't think you're a college student. Regardless, Bear News offered free pizza as a bonus in Tuesday's open house. Put on by the public relations class PR student Shelby Pilka says the open house was a win-win situation for both Bear News and the class.
So this just kind of gives us a little bit of real-world experience, see the whole process of putting an event together.
And as for Bear News, it got its name out there with flyers the PR class put up. At the open house, UNC community members got to see the magic that happens in the studio. They could sit at the anchor desk and read from the teleprompter, and they could even forecast the weather on the green screen. Not only did they get to be on camera, they got a little bit of information about what happens behind the scenes as well. We'll see how successful the open house was this week after today's show. Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart have very different histories when it comes to film, but both are known to push boundaries and test tolerance with viewers. As Bear News reporter Caitlin Sullivan tells us, the comedy Get Hard incorporates quite a bit of controversial comedy.
Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart headline this Warner Brothers comedy. James King, played by Ferrell, Is a wrongfully convicted millionaire investment banker. King requests help from Darnell Lewis, a small-time car wash business owner played by Hart. Darnell sets out to prepare James for his upcoming sentence at San Quentin State Prison in only 30 days. James offers Darnell $30,000 to be his prison coach, so Darnell converts James's mansion into a mock prison. The house staff helps simulate what James might experience behind bars. This crass R-rated comedy combines racial stereotypes, sexuality, and plenty of over-the-top, crude comedic gimmicks. Get Hard is exactly what you'd expect from Kevin Hart and Will Ferrell in a movie together. There's definitely violence, vulgar language, mild drug use, some nudity, and visual sexual encounters. Rotten Tomatoes scored this film at a 31%, while audiences gave it a 64%. Get Hard is still in theaters, so you can see for yourself just how raunchy this film really is.
Honestly, I think they might be funny together. I don't know.
You gotta love Kevin Hart and Will Ferrell.
Well, we'll see. But coming up after the break, stay tuned for a look into weather and your 5-day forecast. Stay tuned.
Clean kitchen surfaces, utensils, and hands with soapy water. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
I'm your meteorologist, Colton Grasnick. Look at our current visible imagery. We'll see that massive cloud that's covering northern Colorado right now, giving us that mixed precip that we have. If we look at our next graphic, we'll see that the current surface conditions, we had this cold front that came through yesterday afternoon. And we had a brief period of light rain and the winds picked up a bit. Over in the east more, they're getting some more rain from that and some severe weather. Now, we have this little low developing right here. And that's causing a lot of our current weather, affecting our weather right now. It's actually bringing in some warmer air from the south, and we have colder air coming in from the north. We have another cold front that's descending to the south. This is causing lots of mixed precipitation that we're seeing. Early this morning, we had some snow showers, and it was still pretty cold throughout the atmosphere at that time. But as that warm air came, that cold air descended, the cold air is much more dense and it pushes that warm air up. So we have this warm, elevated air above the cold air. And as that began, we got that melting into rain, and below we still had quite a bit of cold air, so that would freeze again into that sleet, the ice pelts that you saw this morning. Later, we had some more warm air and it turned into rain. But the surface was not cold enough to give us freezing rain. That's blessing. That causes a lot of traffic issues. But then later, now that cold air is descending more and it's turning back to snow. In our next graphic, we have the current condition, the current temperatures at the surface. Here at Greeley, at 36, we have that second cold front that right now it's about pushing through. So a little to the north, Cheyenne's at 30. A little to the south, still pretty warm. Pueblo's at 57. Oklahoma City, 77. It's still pretty warm out east too. And this front that's moving through is helping this precip get going again. It's giving a little extra boost to help the snow showers start falling a little heavier. Going forward a little bit to our next graphic, we have the high temperatures for tomorrow. Greeley, 49. We're getting back up there again. It's supposed to clear off this evening, actually, after the snow showers in. So after the clouds clear out in the morning tomorrow, some surface warming should be expected, and we should climb up a little better than we got to today. So Greeley and Fort Collins about 49, Boulder 47. To the south a little bit, we're at 44 tomorrow's high in Colorado Springs, and Pueblo sees 50. If you go to our next graphic, we see the 5-day forecast for you. So Friday we still should have some cloudy skies, maybe a few morning flakes, but once that clears off, we should get to about 49 as our high. 25 as that night's low. On Saturday, we'll be mostly sunny. 62 is our high. It picks up really nice. 33 for the low that night. Sunday, we see mostly sunny conditions and 70. Low is 37. Monday, mostly sunny and 66 as your high. And Tuesday, mostly sunny. We're looking at another system that might be entering the region. So maybe a chance of rain, but it's still a ways out, so it's hard to tell. But high of 60. There's your weather. Now we'll go to Steven for the sports.
Thanks, Colton. Up on the screen now are some scores we weren't able to cover. Air Force hit on all cylinders versus the Bears baseball team on Tuesday, and thunder strikes twice as both men's and women's tennis defeated Southern Utah. Stay tuned. We'll see you after the break.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. Got it.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Swing, batter, batter, swing. The UNC Bears come off an arduous series against North Dakota University, dropping the first of 3 games 6-3 on Friday afternoon at Jackson Field. A good start in the first inning from senior Ren Sugai's bat. He reached base and freshman designated hitter Marco Castilla brought him home with an RBI single. The 1-run lead didn't last long for the Bears. Top of the second now, junior pitcher Dylan Shiraki in his first start of the season hit the first batter with a pitch. That led to 2 runs in the second inning, giving North Dakota an early 2-1 lead. Sugai wins 4 for 5 at the plate, but it just wasn't enough to overcome the tough pitching performance by North Dakota senior Andrew Tomei, who pitched a complete game and got 11 strikeouts. The Bears picked up single runs in the 4th and 5th. One of those runs came off of Castilla's bat as he got his first career triple. North Dakota hitters shelled each of the 3 pitchers they saw in the game, and they scored in 4 of the 9 innings. The game was total out of the Bears' reach when relief pitcher Spencer Appleback gave up a solo home run to Cole Maltese. And in the second game of the 3-game series Saturday afternoon, the second versus turned out to be the same as the first, or worse, when multiple errors resulted in 4 unearned runs. For the first 3 innings, UNC seemed to rally from Friday's game as the Bears matched every move North Dakota made. When the Bears' first error and a 2-run homer in the 3rd inning gave the Bison a 3-0 lead, UNC responded with hits by Reese, Mulvaney, and Vaughn tying the score at 3. Things went downhill in the 4th inning when North Dakota started off with another home run and followed that with 3 singles, scoring 2 more runs. An intentional walk low the bases, but the Bears got out after the inning after giving up 4 runs when they got the 3rd out on a blooper to center. Even though North Dakota held UNC to no runs or hits at their turn at bat, the Bears continued to fight, scoring 1 run on 1 hit in the 5th, then 2 runs in the 6th from a double by Tanner and singles from Reese and Sugai. But the Bears just couldn't keep up as North Dakota continued to score, putting up 4 more wins and leaving the field with an 11-6 win. All good things must come to an end, and that applies to the UNC women's basketball team. The team found that out last Thursday night when they fell to UCLA 60-74 in the 3rd round of the Women's National Invitational Tournament. The Bears couldn't overcome the strong play from UCLA guards Nira Fields and Jordan Canada, who combined for 40 points. Stephanie Lee led all Bears with 31 points to go along with 3 rebounds. Senior guard DeShera Strange added 12 points and grabbed 6 rebounds in a losing effort. But the team has a lot to be proud of. The women finished the season with a program record 22 wins and their deepest postseason run in history as they made the Sweet 16 round of the WNIT. Though the team season is over, Strange and Lee look to continue the postseason as they both received invitations to the Pro Hoops Combine, which is this weekend in Florida. This week's outcome in women's golf wasn't quite up to par. The Bears hit the course at the University of Arkansas Little Rock Arkansas State Invite, playing Monday and Tuesday. Junior Amanda Meyer set the Bears pace, taking 54th, shooting 22 over par. Junior Nicole Okada earned 57th place with 25 over par. Sophomore Jordan Sunset tallied 83, ending in 67th place. The Bears finished in 13th place, losing 2 spots on the leaderboard in the final 2 rounds. The Bears now change focus with a close follow-up match in Arizona for the Wyoming Cowgirl Classic next Monday. It looks like the odds aren't in the UNC softball team's favor. The girls delivered 2 smashing victories against North Dakota on Friday. The Bears started their damage early in the second inning off the first game with 6 runs. Nicole Hudson got the first run of the game with JC Sutak taking the second and Erica Dick with the third. The scoring continued with singles by Morgan Uhas, Molly Ryan, and Michaela Duffy, taking the Bears to a 6-1 lead. After 10 more runs in the third inning, Erica Dick and Caitlin Flynn hit home runs, making the Bears lead to a 12-2 lead. Pitcher Jamie Radcliffe struck out 3 batters and only gave up 4 runs on 8 hits. The Bears shut the first game down in the 5th inning with a 16-4 win. In the second game, the Bears struck out again in the second inning with 5 runs. Flynn, Dick, and Uhas each added another home run to their records, leading to a 14-1 final score. Kelly Kleiss threw 5 innings and gave up 1 run on 5 hits. The Bears scored 30 runs in 10 innings and only gave up 5 runs in the first 2 games of a 3-game series. After trouncing North Dakota's twice Friday, you might have thought the women's softball team would ease up on their next game. Hardly. The Bears came out strong with Melissa Marvichivo sending the ball over the right field wall for her 3rd home run of the year. Following that, Rachel Johnson singled to left, bringing Michaela Duffy run home for the 2-0 lead. A North Dakota error and a 2-run Rachel Johnson homer gave the Bears a 5-0 lead in the 3rd inning. Solid pitching by Jamie Ratcliffe led the Bears to the win game 7-1 and sweep the series. Left fielder Molly Ryan led us on in the secret of her team's success.
I think we were just relaxed and just played our game instead of pressing and trying to win. We just relaxed and hit the ball, which we haven't been doing. So
it's as simple as that. Just relax and you'll outscore your opponents 27-6 in a 3-game series.
Thanks, Stephen. Coming up after the break, the birds are chirping and the grass is greener. And the flowers are starting to bloom. We'll figure out what UNC's Bears' favorite activities are after hibernation.
Don't go anywhere.
Hey, I'm Anderson Cooper. As a parent, you want to make sure that your child knows how to deal with bullying when they see it happening. And chances are they want to help, but they don't really know how. I'll teach them that the best thing to do is calmly walk away, find a teacher or other adult, and speak up. And do your part. Be that adult they can talk to and trust will listen. Join me to help stop bullying. Go to stopbullying.gov to find out more.
You sure you don't want some? It's chamomile. Listen, you are extremely terrifying. Just the scariest undead subhuman thing on TV, and I really mean that. But I am worried that you could give my kids nightmares if they see you, so I'm gonna have to block you. So that's it. Oh, and tell the zombies they're blocked too.
April Fool's Day wasn't as popular on campus as it was off campus this year, but Bear News reporter Ashley Stitch went out with this week's question of the week.
Question of the week is, what is the best April Fool's prank you've ever witnessed?
One of our friends from another house came and dropped off a gift box, and inside of the gift box was fudge in the form of poop.
Well, today my friends' cars all got saran wrapped together, so that was a pretty good one.
Fake pregnancy. No. Someone texted me that they were pregnant. That was probably the worst thing I've ever experienced. It was bad. It got me.
My friend, she bought like 6 I Heart Nickelback stickers, bumper stickers. She slapped them on everyone's cars. I still have it on my car. So.
My brother tied a bunch of rubber bands around the sprayer on our sink, and it when my mom turned on the sink, it just sprayed her, and she was really mad, and so she went and changed, and then she did it again.
And this guy was proposing to his girlfriend at I think it was a baseball game or a basketball game, and it was an April Fool's joke, so it was kind of sad because she said yes, and then it was just ugly. But yeah.
I think the best and the worst is that fake proposal. Heads would roll with me. Reporting from McKee Breezeway, Ashley Stitch, Bear News.
All right, after that, I am never agreeing to a date on April Fool's Day.
You should know better, you know?
No.
Comment on our Facebook page, Bear News 98, to suggest next week's question of the week.
That's all we have time for tonight. Thanks for joining us this evening. We'll be back next week.
Until then, stay up to date on our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, Bear News 98. Be sure to like us.
Have a great week.